Hey everyone, it's me Jillian. Sorry for the change in the background. I'm currently at my grandma's house, so ignore that. But today I want to talk about, I don't really know what to call it. I'm gonna call it, personality dysmorphia, if you will. What I mean is, thinking one way about yourself because you always felt that way and people have always told you that you are that way about your personality and how you act and your behavior and how people like you, when in reality you're better than that or different, but you keep on thinking and you're convinced that you are a different way than you actually are in terms of personality because that's how you always have thought about yourself, if that makes sense. This is a really specific scenario, but I feel like a lot of people feel this way. I think I was talking to one of my friends about specifically looks. Shout out Kenzie. I was talking to her about how, it's not like dysmorphia. Not that. Not that specific feeling is not dysmorphia, but she was talking about, she's a very pretty person, by the way. Kenzie is gorgeous. But the thing about Kenzie is that she used to not feel very pretty. People used to call her, not pretty. And then one day she started, being viewed as attractive, and it was a really odd feeling. And even though she's really pretty and people comment her all the time, she doesn't feel pretty because she used to feel so ugly, and because people always used to call her that and she used to feel that way all the time in the past, she feels that way now. And even though she knows that's not true, she feels that way, if that makes sense. I don't know if I described that well, but I feel that way too. I mean, I don't really get comments that often, but when I do, it's kind of weird because it's are you sure you're talking to me? I don't know. It's a very odd feeling for me, so I agree with that. But besides looks, I also had that problem with personality because, for some context, I used to be really annoying. And I'm not even saying that out of a self-deprecating way. I was genuinely so annoying. Being in and out of treatment for so long, I had a lot of problems. I was struggling very much mentally. I, attention seeked so much in the worst ways. So I was not likable. Really just not. And it wasn't necessarily my fault. I was struggling, but people had a right to not like me. So even though I'm doing a lot better now, I'm very stable now and I'm a lot happier, and that means I'm really likable in my opinion, and people say that about me. So but even though I'm pretty likable now, I still have this idea in my head that I suck, basically. Also, this isn't me trying to vent or anything. I just want to talk about it. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting topic to talk about. I'm not trying to get my problems out in the world. I'm not going to talk about anything super specific. I just want to bring awareness to it, I guess, in case someone else feels the same way, they don't feel so alone, But I just feel it's an interesting topic because I feel a lot of people think this, of themselves. For example, I know I keep on telling all my friends about this because it's so big to me, but I have a friend who's super cool. She's really cool. If you're watching this, you're really cool. I love you. But she's super cool. She's the best. She's super sweet. She's super likable. She's the kindest person ever. And I was talking to her. I was at a Starbucks with her, and we were just hanging out, whatever. And sometimes I get this idea in my head that I'm not cool enough to be her friend because she's so cool. And so I get this idea oh, we're not actually friends because I'm not on her level, But I was telling her that, I feel you're too cool for me, whatever. It wasn't in an awkward way, I feel but she was saying something along the lines of sometimes I feel I am a social queen, and sometimes I feel like I'm really socially awkward. Basically, she said that. And I was I feel you're always a social queen. And she was I feel that way about you. I feel you're so charismatic and stuff. I was thank you? Really? Oh my god. And I've gotten that a couple, pretty often. People always say that I seem really confident, which I think is really interesting because I don't feel that way at all. But I guess I'm just, I just come across that way, I guess. I don't really know. But it's interesting to me, the contrast between what I think about myself and how I actually am in reality. I've always been, really insecure and, self-deprecating, and, to see that I am not the person that I have created in my head, and the person that I have created in my head that I hate is not me. It's a really nice feeling. Whenever people tell me, you're very likable, you're really funny, you're really kind, you're really sweet, you're really cool. I'm wow, thank you. It's so interesting that contrast. It's a nice thing to think about because, I think a lot of people struggle with that, especially people that are really insecure. They make this perception in their head about who they are. And I think it's important to remember that's not you. And if I've said this before, I think I've said this before, but if you are annoying or you're just like unlikable, that's okay. It may be annoying for the people around you, but like just make yourself better. Like, and if you are hurting people, apologize. Know that like people don't have to accept your apology, but like that's kind of a worst case scenario. A lot of time, if you're just like unlikable, like just work on being better. Like I always tell myself, you know, when I mess up or I make a mistake, I'm like, all I can do is get better. You can't change the past. I know this is like really basic, but it's true. You can't change the past. All you can do is work on yourself and be better. Like I always have to tell myself, that's like a mantra in my head. I just say, all you can do is get better. When I make a mistake, when I do something wrong, I apologize and I try my super hardest to just do better, because that's all you can do, truly. And you know, I think a lot of people don't understand, like, you're not gonna really make any progress by hating yourself. You just have to like be better. This is how I became better. And this is also a great way to become more confident in how you look, because in my opinion, the best way to become more confident in how you look is not by like glowing up. It's by making your internal self better. Because if you feel good about how you are and how you act and how you behave, you will like how you look better, in my opinion. That's how I became more confident in how I look. But what I like to do is find something that you like about yourself. Find something that you think is good about your personality. And then like keep on making it better. And don't nitpick the things that you don't like about yourself, but find something that you think maybe you could work on. And really work on it. Really hone your skill into what you can make better. Don't obsess over the things that you can't change. Think about productively what you can make better, because that's the only thing you can do. Like truly, that's the only thing you can do is be better. So just be better. Like I know that's a really hard thing to do, and it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of commitment. Like truly it does. And there might be days where you just want to give up. You just want to like be worse again, you know? And it can be hard like to be better. Like that's something I really struggle with now that I am so much better. It's like that feeling of like, that's so wrong. Like it feels wrong to be better sometimes. But trust me, like being happy doesn't hurt. I made a video on that. Being happy doesn't hurt. It's okay to be better, and like it's gonna be okay. But like I know I'm kind of going a little bit ahead of myself. Just like work on yourself, you know. And I don't know, I'm just saying this because like I think it's interesting. Like I always psych myself out into thinking that like people actually hate me, like especially that one friend that is really cool. I always psych myself out. Like we have a good hangout, we like go somewhere and we have a really good time, or I feel like we had a good time, and then I'm like a couple hours later I'm like, she hates me. But it's like that's not true, especially for someone like me that can like really build up a thought in your head and believe it like to an extent that is bad. Try to remember like that's not true. And if you're someone like me that like sometimes it can be hard to stop yourself from believing something that you fundamentally feel like is true, one nifty tip that I have is take pictures, and if you're hanging out with someone you feel like maybe they don't like you, capture the moments that you have with them, so you can look back on them and remember, oh, that was fun. Like you can have something to ground you and like hold as a fact, you know? If you take a picture of you guys laughing or like doing something fun, then you can go back and look at it and remember, oh, it's not so bad. Like I'm just going a little off the rails right now. Like just remember, like have something to remember it's okay. Like it was actually fine. Like I need to calm down, you know? Because if you have something like that, you know that's actually not true. This was actually really fun. I can actually see by the expression and the behavior from that person that it was actually fun and they had a good time and it was okay. But this is just for people that are like really overthinkers. I don't think a lot of people are like this, but like this is how I am, so I'm just giving you some tips and tricks. Also, I know I don't know everything. I know that. Don't start commenting that I'm like please guys, okay. But anyway, I just want to make this little video. I wanted to like rant a little bit. And yeah, I hope this helped. Let me know if it helped. I don't know. Bye.